What if I told you that Remy Ma recently upended the internet once more, but not with a wedding-related diss track? Yes, you heard correctly. Eazy the Block Captain and Remy Ma are now legally wed after months of rumors, whispers, and leaked direct messages. Let's just say that the battle rap community as a whole is having a collective breakdown, as are the streets and blogs. But hold on, things get wilder because Claressa Shields appear in the midst of the mayhem. Indeed, the unbeaten champion herself went live and declared that she had at last set us all free. Claressa freed from what? From deception, loyalty, and the false belief that love is still present in hip-hop. Like a bomb, the video fell. Hashtags such as Remy freed herself, Eazy won in real life, and Papoose pain became popular within minutes. People are unsure whether to rejoice, weep, or classify this as the greatest betrayal of 2025. And one thing is certain as more people come forward to say they attended the secret event. This is no longer merely rumors. A full-fledged cultural earthquake has occurred. Because you have to wonder, was this love or just revenge wearing a white dress? As the first grainy image of the Queen of Terror squad exchanges allegiance for freedom. When Remy Ma appeared on social media wearing a white gown, hardly one took it seriously. "It's edited," was their statement. "It's for a music video." However, the video appeared hours later. In a brief video, Remy is seen standing next to Eazy the Block Captain, grinning in a manner that hasn't been seen since her days in the Terror Squad. Nothing fancy, no crowd, just a quiet setting brimming with wealth and intrigue. And hip-hop lovers worldwide froze when the clip appeared on Twitter. Because that video meant one thing if it was real. Remy Ma just formally ended the Papoose phase of her life and began a whole new one that no one anticipated. Everyone initially thought it was clickbait. After all, there had been months of circulating tales about Remy and Eazy. Their chemistry was too great to ignore, and they had been spotted together much too frequently. However, Remy consistently refuted fan speculation with his signature sneer. Then came the live reactions, the ones that made all the difference. It was the same look that said, "Believe what you want. I know the truth." Unbeaten, uncensored, and unrepentant, Claressa Shields went live. With a smile that shouted mayhem, the internet exploded when she declared she finally released us all, while drinking a glass of wine as if she had just watched the season finale of someone else's show. Released from what? One person commented, "If Claressa laughing, then this marriage ain't about love. It's about liberation." Fans questioned if Claressa was making fun of Remy or implying that she had been trapped in a loveless marriage. Another user shared side-by-side pictures, including one of Remy in 2018 with a fake smile and papoose eyes. An anonymous insider who claimed to be close to the wedding leaked the first round of details to a gossip blog, claiming that the ceremony wasn't recent and that it took place 3 weeks ago in a private location in Atlanta, with only 10 guests. The insider claimed that the vows were emotional and that uncomplicated, and that guests were instructed to leave their phones at the door. Security was strict and each attendee signed an NDA. Within hours, daughter Remy freed herself was trending, but that was only the beginning. "You've controlled kingdoms for men," the battle rap underdog informed Remy. "Someone needs to hold one for you." A makeup artist shared a blurry Instagram story that showed a glimpse of Remy's face behind a veil, and another anonymous source said they catered the wedding. They said it was classy, with no cameras, no drama, just love and pricey champagne. However, behind all that romantic imagery, there was more than just love being served. Twitter called it corny, Instagram called it iconic, but everyone agreed it was real. The man who went viral for waiting years while Remy was in prison had not said a single word. There was no post, no subliminal, no reaction, just a void. And in the digital world, there were silent screams. Fans began to panic. "Where's Papoose?" Trended for a day. Then the unthinkable happened. A leaked voicemail purportedly from one of Remy's old friends appeared online. The voice told him it was over months ago, but he didn't believe it. "Team Papoose, Team Eazy, Team This Ain't My Business, but I'm watching anyway." Everyone was picking sides after that footage went viral quicker than wildfire. Claressa's defenses, meanwhile, doubled down when she tweeted, "Some people think loyalty is love." It isn't. It's simply better PR for control. She became the official ambassador of petty freedom on the internet within minutes, and fans began turning her comments into memes. In one video, she was shown giggling while watching previous interviews of Papoose appearing heartbroken. Every outlet wanted a piece of a story, and by morning, bloggers were calling it the wedding that broke hip-hop. Some claimed that Eazy proposed immediately after one of his battles, while others said that they had been secretly engaged since last year. There were even rumors that the ring Remy wore at the ceremony wasn't new, but rather that it was the same diamond she once flashed on stage alongside Papoose, only reset and redesigned. Claressa and her villain era, Remy really freed the girls. According to a close source, there was a darker undertone behind all the memes because every scandal needs one. Remy and Eazy's connection began long before the breakup. It wasn't just a fling. It was years of building chemistry in studios, long nights, and business meetings that blurred into something personal. Fans began analyzing old photos, zooming in on ring details, matching cuts, and counting carats. One viral TikTok claimed she recycled the ring. Something about him reminded her of herself before she became famous. He was hungry, self-assured, and dangerous. One person even went so far as to remark, Papoose ceased to be her partner. He turned into a prison for her. That line spread everywhere. He became her prison. It became the defining quote of the week. Every podcast dissected it. One host said, maybe Remy didn't cheat. Perhaps she changed. Another retaliated and changed. She went live again, this time with a whole bottle of wine, and said, y'all really thought Remy was staying in that situation forever? That's betrayal with better branding. The debate went on, with some seeing her as a woman finally taking control and others as the villain who betrayed her loyalty. Despite all of this, Claressa continued to laugh. So you knew? A commenter questioned. Let's just say I wasn't surprised. And she grinned back. Boom. Another wave of when the fake wedding guest list began to circulate. A screenshot of purported attendees showed Claressa's, along with Eazy's crew, a few industry producers, and even a blurred-out name that people swear belongs to Fat Joe. Naturally, Joe denied it, posting a story that read, y'all when? Stop tagging me in this nonsense. There was speculation about whether Claressa was involved, whether she helped cover for Remy, and whether she knew about the wedding before it went public. However, his subsequent silence only served to exacerbate the situation. Relationship bloggers referred to it as a lesson, while battle rap fans termed it karma. One of the most popular tweets was, Remy Ma left the man who held her down through jail for the man who held her hand through a freestyle. Barbaric. Y'all act like women can outgrow men, one fan said. Yet the more people criticized her, the more her supporters stood up for her. Papoose remained faithful, but did he remain honest? Another said. The story abruptly changed from scandal to symbolism, from betrayal to empowerment. Perhaps, just possibly, Claressa was hinting at something larger. An unspoken truth about loyalty, silence, and how women in the industry are often expected to play supporting roles, while men take the spotlight. But regardless of the theories, one fact remained unchangeable. The video existed. The ring. Why now? Why was it easy? And most importantly, why did Claressa laugh? Was it relief or mockery? Because she finally freed us all lined in sound like random shade. It sounded personal. The wedding may have been private, but the fallout, oh, that was public property, was real. And the internet wasn't about to let this go anytime soon. Remy Ma didn't simply say, I do, as one blogger so eloquently put it. I'm done, she declared. One word kept coming up online as the tale spread. The queen is free. But until a clip leaked, no one took seriously the one tweet from an unknown account claiming to have exclusive behind-the-scenes audio from the ceremony, which was the first indication that freedom always has a cost, and Remy's was about to be collected. The audio clip was only 12 seconds long, but it altered everything. You heard background discussion, glasses clinking, and then Remy's voice, faint but distinct, saying, "To new beginnings, no more pretending." And that's exactly where the true mayhem started. The crowd in the clip cheered, and a male voice, which fans swore belonged to Eazy, said, "You finally free." The statement wonderfully echoed Claressa's widely shared quote, "She finally freed us all." The connection was made, and people began referring to Claressa as the Messiah. Headlines like "Claressa wasn't lying" were all over blogs. Remy herself stated it. After the shade was declared to be biblical, things took a turn for the worse. The same anonymous account released another teaser, this time claiming that the ceremony was fully recorded, complete with vows and toasts. False insiders started to emerge from the woodwork, claiming that the ceremony had been professionally filmed, but that the footage had been sold off privately and that Claressa was in the front row recording on her second phone. Screenshots began to appear. In the meantime, Eazy the block captain was acting as if nothing mattered, posting a single Instagram story with a black background and white text that read, "Ain't nothing easy about love." There were circulating photos of someone with a phone in the same pose as Claressa had been photographed in days earlier. Was it real? No one knew, but it didn't matter. It looked real enough to trend. Bro really dropped a bar mid-scandal. Fans went crazy. He's rapping through heartbreak, one commenter wrote. Other people made the joke that he was most likely creating a mixtape titled Married to the A Fan wrote. Look at her body language. By this point, the internet was not only consuming the drama, but also creating it. Fake wedding invitations appeared on eBay, and a YouTuber even released a remix of Claressa's quote, auto-tuned over trap beats. Then the battle rap forums came alive. Old videos of Remy defending Eazy during events resurfaced, her eyes lingering on him a little too long. The clips were slowed down, zoomed in, and examined frame by frame. Papoose remained silent throughout the incident until he didn't. Suddenly, a post with the words, "Sometimes love don't die," emerged on his page, with a black screen and white lettering. It simply grows weary. Theories about Papoose creating a diss track began to circulate after that one post went viral. Thousands of comments were left saying things like, "He's hurt but classy." She really lost a real one. "He's too calm." That means he's plotting. The story took an even darker turn when one publication claimed that Ray's team had sought out to prevent the leaks. One so-called PR insider told a gossip blog, "They're trying to control the narrative." Fans even started creating mock-up cover art titled, "The vows are void. It's too late." These days, the internet is in charge. It became a gospel quote. With headlines like "Facts" and "No NDA strong enough for Twitter," everyone started reposting it. Celebrity podcasters even joined in. A particular program called Remy Maverus, the internet user who has amassed over 3 million views in a single day. Then Claressa returned with a vengeance. Smirking into the camera, she went live once more and said, "I told y'all I was right. Y'all ain't believe me. Now look." The comments flooded in so quickly that the live stream nearly crashed. She laughed and responded, "I ain't saying I was there, but if I was, I'd tell her congratulations for finally choosing herself." The internet didn't even wait for her response when a fan asked, "Claressa, you going to the wedding?" They took a video and captioned it, and smeared it on every page that could be thought of. Although Claressa never claimed to have attended Remy's wedding, her confirmation of doing so trended for 2 days in a row. In the meantime, chaos was developing behind closed doors. Eazy's former teammates, who allegedly assisted him in becoming successful in battle rap, felt taken by surprise. One associate wrote on a blog, "He's acting like he doesn't know us, traveling in private jets and wearing designer suits. He doesn't trust anybody anymore. He thinks everyone is leaking his moves." Another acquaintance said he fired one of his closest pals after the marriage was public. Then, as if on cue, new rumors surfaced. Someone said that Remy and Eazy were planning a joint reality show called Love and Bars. A phony poster of them posing with champagne and microphones appeared online. And it looked so real that it fooled half of the internet. The tagline, "Love and Loyalty Battle for the Crown," made fans go crazy. She left Papoose for a plotline, and one tweet said, "This ain't love. This is a publicity gimmick." Another said, "My mother got married. Obtaining streaming rights is simple." While everyone else was fighting, screenshots of what appeared to be private correspondence between Papoose and a producer emerged. According to the reports, Papoose said, "I told her this fame stuff going to swallow us whole." No one could verify their authenticity, but truth was irrelevant at this point. The fire was fueled by every rumor. It was no longer a story about love. It was about public humiliation, treachery, and legacy. Then, according to the alleged exclusive interview with one of Remy's stylists, Remy asked for a look that exuded strength. Conspiracy threads on Reddit claimed she planned a ceremony around astrology, picking a date that aligned with Mars in her chart. People joked that she didn't tie the knot. She cast a spell. They said her wedding gown was a statement piece. Silver, not white. That detail hit hard. People read symbolism into everything. Silver means victory, one fan explained. The real blow was a phone call between two alleged insiders that was leaked. In the call, a voice that sounded uncannily similar to Papoose's mutual friend said, "She didn't even tell him until after it happened. He found out through the blogs." That line went viral. Inspiring memes, edits, and remixes, and even verified celebrities joined in, tweeting things like, "Imagine finding out your wife got married again through Instagram." The situation had officially departed reality at this time. Rapper, influencer, and former reality star 50 Cent shared a meme of Papoose appearing astonished and captioned it, "Couldn't be me." Joe Budden stated on his podcast that Remy hadn't simply moved on, but had changed her brand. It was ruthless. Still, Remy didn't break. She didn't post. She didn't explain. Her silence became power. When paparazzi finally caught her leaving a restaurant with Eazy, she smiled at the cameras and said, "I'm not explaining peace." Overnight, 4 million people viewed that clip alone. After a blogger leaked pictures that seemed to show Claressa and Remy sitting together in what appeared to be the same restaurant from weeks before the wedding, the internet split in two. Half praised her, and the other half called her heartless. Claressa had previously stated that she wasn't shocked, so it made sense now. Theories abounded. Perhaps Claressa helped plan it. Perhaps she was the one who persuaded Remy to go public. Perhaps that line that freed us all wasn't sarcasm. The biggest twist of all occurred during the celebration. A hacked text purportedly from Claressa's phone said, "She was afraid to do it, but I told her freedom comes with fireworks." The story had everything: betrayal, empowerment, sisterhood, silence, and chaos. The problem with fireworks is that they burn quickly. As the world rejoiced or criticized, one man's silence was about to become something louder than all. Whether true or not, the internet didn't care. That line became legendary. Their combined noise. Because the following morning, when Papoose entered Hot 97 and announced to the world that he had something to say, the studio was silent, but the tension was overwhelming. Papoose entered with his trademark unwavering composure and all-black sunglasses on, and the producer said, "Thank you for coming, man. It has been a crazy week, I know. Ain't no wild week. Just a lot of noise about things that don't define me," remarked Papoose, nodding slowly and removing his shades before saying the words that made everyone hold their breath, Tried to gently guide the subject by asking if he had seen the video. "Yeah, I seen it," Papoose said with a smirk that conceals sorrow behind pride. "Everyone has witnessed it. But that's her journey, not my downfall." That clip alone hit every timeline within minutes. The internet called it the calmest heartbreak in hip-hop history. One fan wrote, "He's too collected." That isn't serene. It's hurt turned into a career. "In between his pauses, you can hear the heartbreak," observed another. He said, "I don't regret a thing. I gave love. I gave time. I gave loyalty. And when people move on, you don't chase them. You bless them. But don't ever think I ain't got my side of the story." That line was cut like a knife, and within hours, Papu's side of the story began to trend. Blogs speculated that he was going to release a song, possibly an album. Everybody was waiting for his next move, but instead of music, he posted one mysterious picture of a closed notebook with a pen resting on top captioned, "Sometimes silence rhymes better than words." One rumor said he had already recorded a diss track called "Till Freedom Ain't Free," while another said he was writing a memoir. The man who once personified loyalty was now being positioned as the tragic hero in hip-hop's newest soap opera. Remy and Eazy, meantime, were seen at a fancy restaurant in Philadelphia, acting as though they were leading the most carefree lives possible. Fans zoomed in, evaluated angles, and said, "That's not love." Despite the flashing cameras and forced smiles, Eazy's hand was not clutching hers in the photo. Rather, it rested on the table slightly away. Damage control is what that is. Conspiracy theories reappeared within hours. They're already arguing. The marriage was a ruse, and Remy discovered that she had exchanged peace for pressure. Suddenly, a new leak surfaced. A purported voice memo from Eazy himself that was recorded during a late tired and emotional man's voice can be heard saying, "She's strong, but she cold," during a nighttime studio session. "She merely serves to remind you of the things you can never control, even though you believe you can manage her." One user remarked, "He's sound broken already," while another said, "Bro realizing he married a boss, not a fairy tale." Fans went crazy. The clip spread like wildfire, reaching even those who'd stopped caring. Claressa Shields, of course, couldn't stay quiet. She posted a story with a caption, "Freedom ain't for the weak." No tag, no mention, just that line. And instantly people knew who it was about. It felt like a subtle jab at both Remy and Eazy, as if she was saying, "Y'all wanted fireworks. Savor the smoke." Celebrities also weighed in, with Cardi B commenting under a blog post, "Claressa, be knowing everything." Her quip was widely copied. Even though everyone laughed, there were rumors that the whole thing was going offline, and the comment alone received 100,000 likes. Remy's endorsement deals were put on hold, according to one insider, and the wedding had complicated legal issues with her previous contracts. Eazy's battle rap bookings had fallen, according to another, and fans were jeering him at events and calling him Mr. Ma. Videos of the taunts went viral, with one heckler yelling, "How's the honeymoon, king?" "Keep that energy up," Eazy muttered, simply shaking his head. The internet went crazy about it, and a reporter from an online publication said that she had gotten the headline hit like a hammer, confirming that Remy Ma and Eazy the Block Captain are legally married. There was no more speculation now. It was fact. On the same day the article was published, Remy posted her first official statement, which was brief, elegant, and cold. "I didn't break vows. I reclaimed myself." The official marriage certificate, blurred for legal reasons, showed Remy's signature next to Eazy's real name. One tweet with 200K likes said, "You can't preach loyalty for a decade," and then switched teams mid-aim. While some fans praised her as a modern feminist icon who refused to be, defined by loyalty to anyone but herself, others dragged her for filth. That one line completely upended the internet. Another commented, "Remy Ma imprisoned her legacy but freed herself." The argument went on forever, with people now debating topics other than relationships, principles, gender roles, and power dynamics in hip-hop. However, Papoose' silence was short-lived, as weeks later, a surprise release of a spoken word track called Unsaid Letters appeared on streaming platforms. The cover art featured a crumpled love note beneath a ring, and the track wasn't angry or bitter. Rather, it was heartbreak masquerading as poetry. In one verse, he said, "I built castles out of faith, but faith don't pay rent when hearts go missing. I stayed solid while they danced on cracks. It wasn't an attack. It was closure," but even that didn't stop the noise. By that point, Eazy had started to distance himself. An associate claimed that the pressure was getting to him, and he didn't realize she was bringing an empire and ghosts with her. Rumors circulated that Remy and Eazy were taking space, but both of them continued to post cryptic captions that suggested otherwise. "Some people can't handle peace when they're used to chaos," she wrote. The prize comes with pressure sometimes," the author stated. Each line was turned into a headline. Then, on her final live stream appearance, Claressa chuckled once again and remarked, "Freedom doesn't look the same on everybody." That was interpreted by some as her way of saying, "I told you so." Remy's career barely made it through, and her new music suggested sorrow disguised as strength. Perhaps she was correct, as the hoopla began to fade within months, and the internet moved on to the next controversy, heartbreak, and headline. However, those involved would never be the same. What started as a wedding turned into a battle of ideals: loyalty versus liberation, truth versus narrative, silence versus survival. Remy said she was free, Claressa said she was right, Papoose said nothing, and somehow said it all when he launched a mentorship program for young rappers, calling it Loyalty Still Lives. Eazy's fan base split in half loyal, half done. Claressa left without a word, having somehow made herself the face of unintended prophecy. One truth stood out above all the noise as the internet scrolled past their faces, eager for the next scandal. Freedom may look lovely on screen, but off-screen it's lonely as hell. So the question is, did Remy Ma finally find peace, or did she simply trade loyalty for spotlight? Was this marriage a rebirth or the ultimate revenge move disguised as romance? Because one thing is clear, nobody leaves this game clean. Remy said, "I'm free, but freedom without trust feels like a headline that never fades." And that's exactly what this has become. A story too wild to be forgotten, too painful to be real, and too entertaining to ever end. Claressa Shields stood laughing in the middle of the wreckage, holding her glass as if she had seen this ending coming years ago. "I finally freed us all," she said, but perhaps that freedom was never about love. Perhaps it was about power. Because when women in hip-hop stop, the entire industry trembles as Remy doesn't simply leave a marriage. She entered a war she started herself, one that made everyone in the room look directly at her crown. And what about Papoose? The man who waited, built and believed, who didn't lose a wife, who lost the illusion that loyalty always wins, and who got what he wanted, the queen. But perhaps not the peace that comes with her, because love born in whispers always dies in noise. This is our channel where love, lies, and loyalty collide under the spotlight, and every secret has a soundtrack. Remember, this story isn't ending, it's just beginning. Share your thoughts below. Did Claressa celebrate her freedom, or was she laughing at karma finally catching up?